Is
Sure,
it enough? Just the MAGA movement?
it's not enough. I think anyone who's a disciple of Jesus Christ, and again, I am not at all denigrating MAGA. I voted for Trump twice.
Hmm.
I think we've seen remarkable things. We've seen the overturn of Roe v. Wade, many positive things that have happened in the United States of
Right.
America. But we also have to realize that Trump is not going to live forever. The MAGA movement, as it is not going to live forever. Jesus Christ is going to live forever. He's the way, the truth, and the life. Same yesterday, today, and forever. And we as Christians, we as Catholics, have to understand marriage, family, statehood, governance, political theology from within our own tradition. And going back before the conversion of Constantine and then after the conversion of Constantine, the bishops, the popes have had very much to say about political discourse, the public square, governance, the relationship between the church and the state. And there's a lot there that we can learn from. And I think, probably because the United States of America is in a way twice removed from Christendom. So England, of course, with Henry VIII, broke off in the 1500s, and Henry VIII, because he wanted a divorce, he started the Church of England, which is a Protestant group. I used to be an Episcopalian priest, cleric in that tradition. Obviously, I became Catholic. And then America was founded out of that Protestant English tradition. So in a way, we're sort of twice removed from our connection to Christendom. And so because of that, I think we often limit ourselves to just saying the founding fathers, the Federalist Papers, the Constitution, Declaration. And I do talk about all those in the book. And there's some absolutely fantastic principles there that are completely consistent with Catholicism and Thomism. Some things maybe not so much, but this book, Christian Patriot, is a challenge to say our Christian tradition, our philosophy, our political philosophy is not just 300 years old. Mm. It's 2,000 years old. Yeah. And what does natural law say? And what does St. Augustine say? And what do the Byzantine fathers say when they're talking about the empire and the church? And what does St. Thomas Aquinas say? And what does St. Bonaventure say? And what do the councils say? It's all there. It's all there. And I think because we're twice removed from Christendom, we maybe have forgotten. And especially I went to public schools my whole, from kindergarten through 12th grade. I did not receive any education that talked about Rerum Novarum by Pope Leo XIII or any of the social encyclicals. And even really anything I learned about Christianity and the state, the church and state, from a American public school system was that everything before the Constitution of America was, you had the Inquisition and you had crusades and there was all this coercion of people and it was horrible and everyone was illiterate and it was backwards and it was constant wars and, thanks be to God, we just completely divorced church and state. And now we have this utopia where there is no more intervention of the church and the state. Well, what we really have is since World War II, we were told, hey, we don't want any more dogmatic ideas. That got us World War I, World War II. We want everyone to keep your beliefs to yourself, put them in your heart, go home, say your prayers, go to church on Sunday, but we don't want any more convictions in the public square. Let's all shake hands like gentlemen, and we'll agree not to impose any of our beliefs or dogmas or doctrines or morality in the public square. We'll all be rational gentlemen. And I think Christians in America in the 1950s and the beginning of 1960s, we all shook hands and said, yeah, we'll all be rational gentlemen. What that did is it created this enormous vacuum in society. And what happened is a group of people came along. In the book, I call them the new secular religion. They claim they're not a religion, but they have their own clergy, their own belief, their own dogmas, their own morality. They've created their own inquisition. They can cancel you. They can get you fired. And they have imposed from the 1960s until 2025 their dogmas on society. And they are in the libraries. They're reading to your kids. They're at the universities. They're at the hospitals. They're at the political conventions. They are everywhere. The media, the movies, the TV shows, the new secular religion is a magisterium that is exercising its authority over us. And a lot of people don't recognize it for what it is. They don't realize they have their own parades, they have their own saints, they have their own feast days. And they just think, well, I don't want to impose my Christianity on the world. And so they sit back. But what we don't see is, or we don't recognize is, this new secular religion has created dogma that has been imposed in that vacuum. And so the challenge is, if we don't stand up for who God is and what he is defined and who Jesus Christ is in the public square, that new secular religion, which claims not to be a religion, but it is a religion, will win. They will win, and we will lose.
Yeah.
And I think MAGA has put a stopgap to that. I think a lot of people have woken up.
Yeah.
And they said, now, wait a second. This isn't America. This isn't what what I grew up in, or my grandparent. Everything has changed since the 1950s. What happened? You know? And a lot of people are like, let's just Constitution more, which is good. Okay. But we need to realize that we are fighting against a dogma. We are fighting against a new secular religion that is in our face, in the library, in the school. And they are imposing, and if you don't go along, you will be canceled. You will lose your job. They locked people in their houses. This is what's in our face. So I think it's a moment right now. You asked the question, today's show, is MAGA enough for Christian patriots?
Yeah.
It's good. It's good, but it's not enough, because we're not drawing on all the tools in our tool belt. There's so much more treasure in the treasure chest that we have to offer the world.